Good afternoon and welcome to the Do STEM Virtual Career Week. My name is Liz Wolf-Eberly and I'm the director of the Dayton Regional STEM Center. We're so excited to have you join us here today for this live session. We have several guest speakers with us today, and we are going to be turning it over here in just 1 second to Technology First, who will be helping us better understand careers in the IT industry. During the presentation, if you happen to have any questions, you can ask them in the comments below, and I will make sure to let our presenters know that you have those questions. But without further ado, welcome to Technology First. And Caitlin, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Liz. Hi, everybody. I'm Caitlin with Technology First. I'm going to be moderating today's panel with our rockstar IT professionals who have taken time out of their busy workday today to share with you a little bit more about careers in information technology. So just want to quickly thank Jesse, Casey, and Lakima for being here with us. We're going to hop right into questions so we can hear all about their experiences, insights, and help you all better understand what's going on. So first, I'm going to ask Lakima, can you tell us about your position and what you do in IT?
Yes, ma'am. So Liz, my name is Kima Roberts, and I'm a system administrator with Dayton Children's Hospital. I've been fortunately tasked with the role of being the liaison for the SLT group, which is our senior leadership team, as well as the doctors and physicians. So here at Dayton Children's, I'm the guy who communicates all technological needs, advices, direction, roadmaps, surrounding IT and technology to the senior leadership team.
Very cool. How about you, Jesse? Can you tell us about yourself?
Sure. I'm Jessie Sparks. I'm the Vice President of Strategy for Magnetic Mobile. And what I do on a daily basis is I help our customers work developing websites or mobile applications to basically sell their products and get their products out into the marketplace. So I work within our team. We do design, we do web development, we do mobile development, and I help much like what we've talked about is creating roadmaps and creating opportunities for our customers to basically chart how they want to be seen in the digital space, whether that's social media, whether that's websites, applications. So my job is to kind of make sure the team has what they need and we have the vision, and then we can execute it, whether that's through engineering or design or content.
Awesome. Thanks, Jesse. How about you, Casey?
Yep, Casey Rindler. I'm a security analyst at CareSource, and I work in our cyber defense department. Essentially, what we do is we protect and we monitor CareSource's network and its technical assets. So, just making sure that the posture is good and that we stay protected for all the different threats out there. So, yeah.
Very cool. A lot of times I picture security professionals in hoodies and in the basement and protecting.
I forgot my hood. Yeah, I forgot my hoodie. I should have said that.
Love that. Good. So something that we want to help the students understand is what a typical day in IT is like. Being in the technology space for almost 5 years now, I understand that it's different all the time. Every day is often different for everyone. So just wondering if each of you could just share kind of, an example of what a day might be like for all of you guys. We'll start with Kima.
So yes, ma'am. So a typical day for me is very unpredictable which brings excitement to the position because there's always things to learn. There's always things to research. There's always things to capture. So my day starts off with the senior leadership team. So as soon as I walk in Dayton Children's, unfortunately, I have to walk by the cafeteria. So my stomach is all over the place. I'm smelling the good food, but I get to go up to the senior leadership team and, of course, explore trends that may be going on with them, any technical trends, any shortcomings, any issues, anything that needs to be carried to the IT team. I'll make sure I streamline that communication from A to Z. We get them taken care of. we close their ticket, and we make sure the senior leadership team is happy. From there, I triage our queue, and what triaging a queue means is I go in our queue and I make sure that all the high priority tickets are taken care of. I make sure the communication is solid with those who submit tickets and work orders. And of course, I just pretty much make sure everyone is good when it comes to the technology point. Again, it's very unpredictable. So it's an unpredictable day for me. But my primary assignment within IT is simply making sure our customers are happy, doing everything I can from a technological standpoint, whether it's applications, whether it's software, hardware, mobile devices, tier 3, tier 2, and we get them squared away. So again, it's an unpredictable day. After I get them squared away, I get to go eat breakfast, bring it to my desk, and perform technological, anything technology-wise within my particular role. That's what my day consists of at Dayton Children's.
Love that there's food always, thing. And the unpredictability of it just keeps it fun. You're doing the same thing every day. That can be kind of tiring. Some people like that, and if that's something for you, that's cool too. And there could be roles within IT that have that. But the excitement that comes with not knowing what's ahead is very cool. We're going to ask Jesse next. And I'm actually remembering one time I went to their office and I was stepping over Nerf bullets. Nerf gun war. It'll be fun to hear about what, Magnetic Mobile typical day is like.
Yeah, it's not always Nerf guns, but we certainly have a lot of fun. One of the things about IT is, like Emma said, is it is unpredictable and it can sometimes get stressful. You're dealing with, a lot of people's needs. And obviously when we're dealing with technology, we're dealing with their data and their needs as customers. And so sometimes things always don't go the way we want. We always want to prepare and make sure, things run optimally, but sometimes every once in a while, you have emergencies and you have to deal with outages. So, like you said, the Nerf guns are sometimes just a way to lighten up the atmosphere and let people remember that, we've got jobs to do and we take our jobs really seriously, but every once in a while, you just need to kind of take a breath and realize you've got this and you can fix the problem. So our day sometimes does have Nerf gun fights during the day, but more often than not, it starts in the morning with what we call a stand-up. And what a stand-up means is basically the whole team gathers together in a conference room. Not now, obviously, y'all gather remotely, much like you're seeing today. When we basically talk as a team what we did yesterday and then what our responsibilities are today. And then our project managers kind of work to kind of triage items that come up or customer needs. So that's the first part of my day. I usually get things kind of escalated to me, things that we need to work through, whether that's issues that are out that we need to fix for platforms, or whether that's, more fun things like planning, like whiteboard sessions. One of the things we do a lot with our customers is sit down with them and plan where they want to go and set a vision and come up with brand new software to kind of help them move their products forward. So a lot of my day is planning and visioning. And then a good part of my day, which I love, is actually just working with our engineering teams and our design teams. At Magnetic, we really work very closely as a team. So while I'm communicating with customers a lot throughout the day and trying to distill down what they need and make sure we're creating products and services that meet their needs, I'm also working with our, engineering and design teams to review comps they might have, designs. We do code reviews, all those kind of things that kind of help give a different perspective. Meeting with our QA people, those are the people on our staff that make sure that when the product goes out into the field, the software that we build, there's no things wrong with it, and your experience from home can be flawless. So a lot of my day, as been said, is different. I love that about IT. I love that every day I wake up, I'm not sure. Sometimes, it can be a struggle, but more often than not, I absolutely love the challenge and the newness of each day.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse. How about you, Casey, over in the cyber defense?
Yeah, I echo that no day is the same. usually you never know what you're going to get into whenever starting the day. One example is incident response. We have a small team, so when we have an incident, and it doesn't always have to be an incident internal to CareSource, but like the Colonial Pipeline, that's hit the news recently about the ransomware and what happened there. Going through that, like understanding, okay, how could, look at CareSource's posture and understand how could CareSource be affected? How can we shore up our defenses to make sure that that doesn't happen to us? Are we targeted? Is this something that could happen? Is this something that's in our environment? There's a lot of tense, adrenaline, blood pumping moments sometimes when working some of these things. So yeah, that incident response is a big one that could happen any day. You have the slow days, you have the hot impact days that are starting at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. whatever, and then you look at the clock and it's 4 p.m., 5 p.m. and you don't even know where the time went. But you always work in food, so yeah, that you got to make sure that you keep fueled up. But incident response is a big one. One of the things too that we've been working on is it's a concept called Purple Team, and so that sounds a little weird, but essentially there's this concept of red versus blue team. So red is always like the offensive kind of, hey, what could somebody do if they were to get on a CareSource network or a CareSource device? What havoc could they reap, like as far as across the network? And then it's up to the blue team, the protection, to kind of look at that and say, what can we do to either prevent it or at least detect it? And so you get these two, red versus blue kind of, and red and blue, they make purple. So it's kind of that collaboration effort. And sometimes that doesn't have to be two different people or two different teams. It could be one team doing the same thing. So that's one of the big things that we've kind of been working on too. That is pretty fun because you can kind of go through like, reports and different things that have happened in the news, and kind of review those and see, okay, where is this, can we use this in our environment, that kind of thing? Are we affected? It goes back to like the incident response kind of stuff. So that Purple Team kind of effort is pretty rewarding and fun to go through, because again, it's not incident response to the point where there might be a fire in your building, that kind of thing. It's in a calm effort, going through all that kind of stuff. Another one is, we could, be building, doing like malware analysis. So if somebody gets a phishing email and an attachment, analyzing that in a safe manner to kind of understand what's being sent. Again, it goes back to, are we protected? Are we prepared for something like this? Did it execute? That goes back to like incident response as well. So doing kind of like the malware analysis. And then, it varies between these, but another thing is we're the cloud and the movement out to the cloud. What is the cloud? And understanding all that. How do we protect the cloud? Cloud in this instance is like Azure, Google Cloud Platform, AWS, all that. So understanding, moving to the cloud, what does that do to the old way of thinking of being on premise and having it in your area, in your building, versus having your data center now like in the cloud. So understanding all that, it's pretty rewarding to kind of review all that kind of stuff and learn about it in the same kind of motion of going through that stuff. Yeah, and then working with cool security tooling. We have a tool called Splunk, and then with Splunk, it's basically a log management platform, and it sounds kind of boring. So we essentially have systems and applications that send their logs to Splunk, which is a log aggregation platform, and you can search on it. So it's really cool. It sounds very boring, but when you get in there and you can kind of start digging and visualizing and picturing like what's out there, what's happening, all through just like searching it. It's like a Google search. That's pretty cool to be able to do. So that kind of sums up a little bit of the daily activities that I do. So yeah.
Very good. Yeah, thank you. Part of what you were saying had me thinking, blue team, red team. I'm like, this is kind of like a video game mindset in a way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes video games do apply to IT careers. Some parts of them do, really just that continuous learning, like you said,
Mhm.
looking at the news, how does this affect things? Like being curious and wanting to be a lifelong learner is really helps you be successful in IT.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
so on to the next thought here. What do you wish you had known about IT or wish others knew? So maybe putting yourself in the shoes of these, middle school age, high school age. What is something that you wish you knew? How about you, Kima?
So one of the things that I wish I would have known early on in my IT career was that certifications reigns supreme. Certifications, one rewarding thing about IT is IT, people who pursue IT careers can have the highest ceiling with the least amount of education, with the least amount of formal education, because certifications reign supreme. So I would compare it to a trade. So college isn't required to be a plumber, yet plumbers can make in excess of six figures a year as a trade. So, education, however, is an amazing tool to have. Yet in the field of IT, education can bring you on various paths. Education can bring you to a leadership track, while certifications can give you a skill, a untradeable skill that allows you to continue to increase your ceiling and go as high as you want to go with it. So I pursued my master's because I wanted my track to be a leadership track. Of course, we know a lot of leadership positions usually require a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. However, the job that I'm the stepping stone job that I'm using right now to get to that track, a certification would have sufficed. And I think it's good that anyone who's pursuing a career in IT, write your goals down. Look at the tracks and paths that you want to take. Figure out what it would take to get there. See if you would require the positions that you seek. See if they require a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or if they simply require a certification. That kind of allows you guys to figure out the path that you want to take and the way to get there, as far as how your studies go, how you approach your studies, and kind of give you guys a roadmap on what you want to do. So education is an amazing tool, yet one thing that IT presents is it gives you a very high ceiling with being able to pursue certifications as well. So that's one thing I wish I would have known before I jumped into the IT track.
Definitely, that's a great point too. And like you're saying, some people pursue 4-year college, some people do an associate's, some people actually get hired right out of high school, and then a lot of the local companies will help you pursue higher education while you're working for them. So I know a lot will either pay for it or pay for most of it, just help you there, and also get certifications, like you said. That's a great point.
Right.
What about you, Jesse? What is something that you wish you knew?
There's two things. First of all, it's okay to fail. I wish I'd known early in my IT career that failing in IT is actually success, which sounds like that's not possible, but everything we do in IT is trial and error. Every time you write a piece of code and it doesn't work, you didn't fail writing that piece of code. You learned a different way to basically get it right. Everything from development, software, hardware, all of the disciplines in IT, business analytics, quality control. It's all about being passionate, but being okay with the fact that you're going to come up against a wall and you're going to get stuck. And I think the real victory in IT is those of us who realize that when you come up against the wall, that doesn't mean that you failed. That's an opportunity to kind of step back, look around to your colleagues, ask for help. I wish I would have known that it's good to ask for help. It's good to reach out to someone and say, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a peer, or, and learn from each other. Like, so often early in my career, I was scared that if I didn't have the answer, I'd be perceived as not adequate. But in IT, that's how you learn. And so I just wish personally that I had figured out that it's great to be a self-starter. And that's where I started. I started teaching myself HTML code on the side, and then thought, oh, this is kind of cool. I can make this website, and being a designer and a design person, I wasn't good at math. I didn't do great in math in, high school and junior high, but I really fell into IT because I liked the idea of building websites and being a designer and designing things digitally. And to me, my path wasn't the traditional path, but because of that, like, I had to do a lot of self-learning on my own and kind of learn. But because of that, it made me hesitant to reach out for help. So I say, always ask for help, never be ashamed, and be okay with failure, because failure in IT doesn't mean that you messed up. We look at it as an opportunity to go, okay, well, that code didn't work, or that deployment wasn't what we thought it would be. And here's an opportunity to learn from it. And then the great thing is you don't make the mistake again. So you've leveled up your opportunity, and it makes you wiser and makes you, an even better employee. So that's kind of what I wish I would have known.
Yeah, that's actually great advice in any field. Being willing to, ask for help and learn that way. And you also mentioned something that stood out to me about how maybe you weren't the best at math growing up in school. IT is actually super unique, and there's so many domains that you can go to within IT that think about what your strengths are. What do you bring to the table? If you want to find a career in IT, there's something for you.
Yep.
You don't have to be, a math whiz or, super savvy with technicalities. Like a lot of times someone mentioned before, but even being like a great communicator is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You provide a lot to an IT team. So
yeah, for sure.
Think about. Yeah. So how about you, Casey? What's something that you wish you knew?
Yeah, I'm going to jump onto that. Learn from your mistakes. That's the biggest thing that you're going to make mistakes, especially, during your career, and it's learning from those mistakes. So, learning from the mistakes, because you're day one, you're not expected to know everything going into your job. Yeah, you may think that, but you're not. I'd say probably 95% of what I use, like knowledge-wise, during any given day has been something I've learned on the job, like learned as part of career experience. And so knowing that going into it is, you should just be able to absorb the knowledge and learn as you go. I know that's not probably ideal or, something you want to think about, but like it really, that's how you learn. You learn by doing. At least that's the way I do it. Not to say that the education and the background doesn't help, because it builds that base, but learning on the job is critical to continue to move forward in your career, and then learn from your mistakes, because there's been some mistakes that I've made in the past that, things it's not critical, but things that, have high visibility up to like even the C-suite of CareSource. But it's making sure that you stick around, you remediate it, you figure it out, you do not make that mistake a second time. So just learning from mistakes, knowing that you're going to learn on the job. Also, again, too, so many different career paths for the technical field. You can go down, application development that is very coding oriented, or you can go down the project management and business analysis, where it's managing projects and communicating and working with requirements, security, identity and access management. There's so many different things, and it's so easy to find something and just latch onto it and just start learning about it. That's the biggest thing, and being maybe a self-starter, or always developing what as far as like professional development. It doesn't always have to be some formal education, going to like a 4-year school or whatever. It could be even going out to, I use Pluralsight as a good example. They do it where I think every April they do like a free, that all the material is free. You can go out there and learn a ton of stuff associated with any technical field. So yeah, just always being knowing to be coming into the technical field, being ready to just learn and continue to learn is a big thing.
Very good. Thank you. We actually have 5 minutes left, so I'm trying to think of which question to press more, because there's two things I'm really curious about for you guys to share, which is, how did you get into IT? A lot of people don't get into IT traditionally, and a lot do. So it's interesting to see perspective there. And then something else, what makes IT special, which I think some of us have shared already what makes it special and unique. So let's find out really quickly how you got into IT, and then maybe we'll wrap up on the special there. So Lakima, can you share how you got here? I remember your journey's nice and windy and fun.
Yes, ma'am. So, of course, my path to IT wasn't a straight path, but it was an adventurous and it was a pleasant path. So, of course, directly out of college, I went on an interview, and it was a sales position. I had it was a enterprise rent a car for the regional director position, and unfortunately, they had to discontinue employment. And of course, anytime I'm talking about careers, I always bring this up because, of course, what prevented me from acquiring that position was due to the fact of a clearance that I was unable to receive due to my credit. So, of course, I always leave this advice. Anyone who's looking for any position, make sure that you've done things to get your credit together. Make sure your background is substantial enough for the role that they're looking for. However, I decided to join Best Buy Geek Squad. I became a manager of the Best Buy Geek Squad due to previous experiences in IT. And yes, I did wear the bow tie with the high water pants and the white button-up shirt. But I made it stylish, so it was it was good for me. But the primary thing that I did was I utilized that, and I set myself goals. I said, acquire an IT position, acquire some formal education, work for an IT firm. And all of those things happened for me. And it was due to my continuing education, my persistence, and willingness to help people. I loved people and I loved customer service. So it allowed me to thrive. And of course, I'm here now. I'm in the field of IT, loving what I do. I get to speak to people on a daily basis, and it's been very rewarding for me. So that's my path to IT.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I love thinking about the Geek Squad. So. How about you, Jesse?
Yeah, my story is pretty different because I actually was terrified of computers, didn't want to have anything to do with them. I had someone at the time who had to basically take my hands and put it on the keyboard and let me know that it wasn't going to bite, that I wasn't going to do something to break it. But once I got past that fear, the technology enraptured me. And I was at a point in my career where literally the internet was exploding and people were starting to do this cool stuff called web design. And I thought, hey, I wanted to be an interior designer actually, and it just didn't end up working out. And so I just picked up all those drawing skills and all those art skills that I had loved as a child. And I said, hey, can I do this on the computer? I can. So I went to school to be basically in digital arts, to work with Photoshop, to design, to build websites. And then I started freelancing, going out on my own and finding my own customers and asking them if I could build websites for them and teaching myself. And before I knew it, I fell in love with the technology. And then I had this incredible time where I fell into mobile application design. And then my career pivoted and I got to work in AR and VR. And at every turn, it just got better. And I got to do new things and new technology, like the cloud came out, and AR and VR and games and mobile apps. And it just, at every turn, it was better and better. And it's terribly exciting because it's not the same. It gets new every day.
Thank you. Thanks, Jesse. And really quickly, Casey, just end us off with a punch here.
Yeah, mine wasn't as exciting. I was in business school going down a non-technical degree. There was this new class coming up. It was related to security. It was an elective. I'm like, oh, hey, I need an elective, security. It was like my senior year. I took the class, ended up now where I'm at 10 years into my career in security. So it would, if I would have skipped that class, I would probably be somewhere different. I loved it when I took it. So yeah, just pursued it. And from there on, yeah, it's history. So.
Very good. Thank you, Casey. So we won't be able to hit our final question there, but just want to thank everyone for your time today and sharing your journeys and insights and advice with the students in the area. I don't think there was any questions in the live chat, but we can always hop on there and try to answer those. So thank you guys, everyone, for spending time with us. IT is ever growing. It's ever evolving. It probably has the most opportunity. I feel like I can say that of all industries because every single business depends on IT. So it's everywhere. You can get jobs anywhere in the world. It's needed and it pays well. It pays really well. And like Lakima said, more certifications, growing, more money, nice cars, vacations. It all works out. So I just want to share that. And hope that everyone has a great rest of your day. And we have a tech careers page on Technology First website that'll help you see your pathway and rely on your teachers. They know how to help you too. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the IT industry down the road.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Caitlin. And thank you, Kima, Jesse, and Casey for being with us here today. On behalf of the Do STEM ecosystem and our sponsor, the Department of Defense STEM Education Consortium, we really appreciate your time and expertise. Thanks for joining us and helping students learn more about careers in the IT field. Thank you.